Yo, Beth. That shit crazy.
On a Saturday! It's all leaving with your boy Barry Grant. You can catch me on Apple Podcasts. You can catch me on Instagram. You can catch me on Twitter. I'm all over the place, man. Welcome to the show, Mike.
What's up, brother?
Welcome to the first video All Even podcast.
I pray for
This is a monumental day. You know that, right?
I pray for your viewers.
Pray for the viewers. Why?
They get to see your face.
Nah, come on, man. Listen.
Yo.
They asked for it. A lot of people asked for the face. Now they gonna get the face. Now they gonna get nothing but the face.
That's what I'm talking. That's what
Feel
I'm
me?
talking.
Pause.
Right.
Pause. But listen, man. Lots to get into.
Oh yeah.
We got NBA Finals to talk about. Steph Curry lit up the world last night.
Yes, he did.
We have Jason Tatum catching a whole bunch of flack.
Yes, he is.
We got TigerWoods joining the Billionaires Club.
Money, 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 money.
You know what I mean? Robbie Anderson hinting about retirement. I mean, I don't know who Robbie Anderson is to hint about retirement. We're going to go into that, though.
Right.
We also got Kenny Atkinson getting the job in the NBA.
Congratulations to that.
There's some big stuff happening. But
right.
Before we get into all that, I'd like to go on a little tirade right now.
Let's do it.
You know, for the longest I was doing my show, and I didn't know how to do it, right? So I'm like, should I go PG? Should I do this? Maybe I need to go the radio way and be that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I said to myself, well, if I go the other way, maybe people are going to judge me, right? So I decided to go PG Barry. PG Barry was the thing.
Okay.
Worked for a while. But this video show is kind of like when Hulk Hogan went heel. You know, you remember Bash at the Beach? Everybody's waiting for Hogan to come out, waiting for who's the third member. And then all of a sudden he comes out, drops the leg on Macho Man. Everybody's throwing the garbage in the ring. That's my Hulk Hogan moment right now.
Let's do it, man.
So for the initial launch of the All Even podcast, fuck that.
Woo,
You never heard that on my show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that.
Let's do it.
My mom, rest in peace, she used to always tell me, I listen to your show and I love it. She said, but there's something missing. I was like, what? She said, you're missing.
That's powerful.
She said, it sounds like you, but when I speak to you, I know what comes out of your mouth. So she's like, just be yourself. Because if you hold yourself back, you're never going to know if people are accepting you for you. And you're never going to know what your potential is because you're always trying to appease everybody else.
That's great advice.
Facts.
Nah, for real.
It's like, yo, why should I not be me? I'm not saying I'm going to drop curse words every 4 words. I'm not going to do that. But if I got something to say, I'm going to say it. You know what I'm saying?
As you should.
So that's my little intro to the new segment, the new show. I don't care. I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to do what I want. And if anybody has a problem, they can email me. We can have a discussion. I can cue them up. They can call the show when I get that situation going. And we can have a conversation. But at the end of the day, fuck that.
It's all even, baby.
It's all even. So, NBA Finals Game 4, this is what I call the swing game. The swing game is the most important game in the series for me because whoever wins that game normally has the advantage to win the series. So if the series is 2-1 going into 4, and you go ahead and you're up 2-1 and you win that game 4, you have the advantage to now win the series because you're up 3-1.
Up 3-1.
You got one more game to win. If it's a 2-2, now it's a best of 3, but you winning that game 4, you get the advantage going into a game 5 and a game 6. So the Golden State Warriors, they go ahead and win 107-97. Steph Curry, 43 points, 7 of 14 from 3. He was the man, right?
Killed him.
In Boston at that. And you saw it pretty early that he hit a couple threes and he was feeling himself.
He was fiery,
right?
Yeah, he was fiery.
That, I think, all athletes have their premier moment. I think we've been waiting for Steph Curry to have his premier moment in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
He's never had it. He didn't have it in 15. Didn't have it in 16. Damn sure didn't have it in 17. And he never had it.
Mm-hmm.
But last night was his moment. And I think he may finally get over that MVP hump that he never had.
If they win.
Mm-hmm. Right? Do you think that they have the advantage going into 5 and 6?
Oh, of course. Okay. Of course. You're going back to San Fran. You're going back home with the momentum. Why wouldn't they feel like they could win the rest of this series?
I ain't gonna hold you, man. I hate this series. You know that.
I know.
Watching this series is like torture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Lakers fan.
Mm-hmm.
What do I care about the Warriors or the Celtics?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I rooting for?
You gotta root for greatness. Right?
Nah. Who's great then?
Curry.
Nah, I'm good.
I know how you feel about Curry, man. I'm gonna ask you this: how do you feel about Curry today versus like when they were playing the Cavs?
How do I feel about him?
How do you feel about him? Because I remember you were not one of those fans of Curry. You know what I mean? Like, you acknowledged his skill, yes.
Right.
But you felt like he wasn't worthy, I guess. I might be short-selling it, but he wasn't worthy of where he was at the time for you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about him today?
How do I feel about Steph Curry today? All right, you want me to be honest?
That's what we here for. Fuck that.
You want me to be honest? All right. How I feel about Steph Curry today? The same as I felt yesterday. He's not top 5 to me. I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? One performance does not push you over the top. I'm sorry. You got to do it more than once. If he does it in 5 and 6, then maybe I'll say, all right, you know what?
But he's been consistent. He's been consistent this series. He's been consistent.
He's playing the Celtics. I'm supposed to be impressed with that?
Yeah, they play D. They number 2 in defense in the league.
Number 1,
I'm
Marcus
sorry.
Smart. Right? Marcus Smart's supposed to be the defensive player of the year. Spare me. Spare me.
I gotta feel the same way.
Spare me.
I gotta feel the same way.
Please. This is a gimme series for Steph Curry. If you don't win the MVP, if they win this time, he ain't never gonna get it.
Yeah, that's a fact.
He ain't never gonna get it.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got a team in the Celtics that they give you games.
And I don't like that about them.
They give you games. Like, mind
that.
you, the Celtics had the advantage last night.
Mm-hmm.
And they started taking wild shots. Tatum just over here looking like 96 Kobe. Just throwing the ball all over the place, right?
Yep.
Jaylen Brown, he just shooting the ball and no offense is being set. Udoka's on the sideline like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? This is where Golden State's experience comes in.
That's a fact.
They've been here before. They're not nervous. They don't care. Draymond can play like dog shit, which he did again. And they can still win because they've been there before.
Yeah.
You got Jaylen Brown, who's looking like he got is deer in the headlights type of situation. When the pressure gets crazy, they don't know what it's like to overcome that.
Yeah. What was crazy to me is how on and off the Celtics are.
They've been like that all season. They've been like that all season. They started the season poor. Then they caught fire. But you got to remember that they're still young players.
Yeah, that's true too.
Jason Tatum is your best player, and he's still growing.
Jaylen Brown's showing up, though.
Jaylen Brown
He's
is
showing
high.
up. Yeah.
He ain't better than Brandon Ingram. But that's a different story. That's a different story. We ain't going to talk about that.
I hear that.
But it's just, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with this NBA Finals at all, honestly. Everybody's like, yo, this is one of the best finals we've seen, man. Warriors, man. I have so many Warriors fans coming out of the woodwork.
Mm-hmm.
So many.
That's how it is all the time, though.
My pops called me today. He's like, you see my boy last night? And I'm like, who's your boy? You root for the Heat.
Mm-hmm.
You in Florida. It's Steph Curry. I said, don't even start that. I will hang up the phone on you right now.
Right.
I've never heard you talk about no Steph Curry. Ever.
People love the way he plays.
I don't appreciate that.
People
I don't appreciate that.
People love the way he plays.
Why does Steph Curry get all this love and Braun don't get no love like that?
Because Braun, listen, man, that revolutionary time for Braun is in the past,
Come on, man. I don't agree with that.
Him changing the game.
He changed the game for the worse. Steph Curry did. Changed it for the worse. You got You got children who are 4, 5, and 6 playing basketball, right? And instead of them going for layups, you know what they doing? They dribbling, running back to the three-point line and launching it.
They be under the basket
Yeah.
and then go back to three.
Have a wide open layup on a fast break and pull for three. Like, what you doing?
Listen, man. Like they say, man, Curry makes it for the little guy. The 5'9", the 5'10",
Maybe
the 5'11".
I'm just miserable. Maybe I'm just an old man.
I think that's what it is, man.
I can't appreciate that.
All of the people that can't be NBA players, 6'5", can't be 6'6", that's why they love him. Because it's something that they do. They can do. They can shoot a three. Be like 5'9". You know what I'm saying? And if they got handles and then they can pass and they got IQ, they can pass. They can pass for a player.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. I'm not going to hate on Steph. I would never do that. I think he's one of the greatest talents we've ever seen, right?
Right.
But people got to separate that in regards to greatest talents and being one of the greatest players ever. Because when you think about point guards, right? Where does Steph rank for you?
I don't even really consider Steph a point guard.
That's what I'm saying. He's a hybrid. He's not even really a point guard. He's more like in the Allen Iverson type of hybrid situation where he's small enough to play point guard, but he's normally naturally a 2 because of his ability to shoot.
That whole team, it's like, I don't know. It's like they all move like,
yeah, it's unfair.
it's a point guard. Like
Right.
they all point guard. You know, like they move
fact.
like that.
That's fact.
So that's why it's like I can't see Steph as a point.
I'm about to go on another rant right
Of course, go ahead. Let's do it.
Draymond Green. I love Draymond Green, and I don't love him for his on-court abilities. I love him because he's a big mouth.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing with him is that you're a big mouth, but you don't back it up on the court. Like, instead of him focused on the NBA Finals, he was over here talking about the 80s and 90s. You know, y'all getting bullied. But, bro, you trash.
Yo, very much so.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like
Trash
when I watch Draymond Green play basketball, it's the most uncomfortable, unorthodox type of game you've ever seen. What does he do good other than foul?
Screen.
Right?
Screen.
And cry to the refs.
He sets a good pick.
It sets a damn good screen.
Amazing screen.
But yo, Isaiah Thomas answered back. Isaiah Thomas was like, yo, instead of you focused on the task at hand, you over here worried about us? You worried about Cedric Maxwell and all types of other players? Like, we ain't worried about you.
What are you doing?
Focus on what you're doing.
Right.
Stop focusing on your podcast. Stop focusing on your career on TNT. That's the thing with me with Draymond Green. It's like he's always trying to compare himself to the greats. Is he a top 75 player for you?
Hell no.
Is he a top 100 player for you?
Listen, man, don't top nothing with him.
Is he a Hall of Famer for you?
Not really.
What about you, Baz? He a Hall of Famer?
He don't do it to me. But why though? Why would you say yeah?
What about you? Hall
okay.
of Famer? she don't care.
Listen,
she don't
man.
care.
Draymond, like, he's needed on that team for the.
Of course, not. He's definitely
the backbone and the.
But the thing with Draymond is that if you take him off of that team, what is his impact to another roster? Doesn't have any.
Set a hell of a screen.
Right. But you know who else had a hell of a screen?
Right.
Kendrick Perkins.
That is true too. That is true too.
Get out of here with no Draymond Green, man. But listen, do you think, moving on to Tatum, do you think that the criticism that he's getting right now is warranted?
Like, I feel indifferent about Tatum, man, because he'll show up,
right,
and then he just goes on a lull.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Like,
because he goes away.
He can easily go to the basket on all of them.
Yeah.
He got a jump shot, got a mid range, but just sometimes he just
don't do it.
He just blanks out. Something. I don't know what it is.
Like, for me, for you to be such a Kobe fanatic,
that's my thing too.
You missed that class? Did you miss that class for Kobe class?
Right.
Where Kobe goes for the jugular, like he doesn't settle for weak jump shots and he doesn't two-step to try to avoid the contact. Like, That's my thing with Tatum. When you see him play, he's supposed to be dominating smaller guys.
All the time.
Go to the basket. Go to the line 20 times. Enforce your will. You know what I mean?
And he can do that.
Instead of looking pretty and trying to dribble and step. Like,
you might have said it right there. That looking pretty. I think that's what it is.
You know what I mean? So if they lose this series, I don't think people are going to judge the Celtics much because they're such a young, inexperienced, high-low team. But what I can tell you is that if they do lose, right, does Tatum get the criticism that he's supposed to get as a superstar player? I don't think so. You know what's going to happen with him? It's the same thing that happens with Kevin Durant. It's that people are going to talk about it a little bit, and then they're going to just brush it under the rug. It's not going to get highlighted like when Braun loses, or if Kobe lost, or if somebody else lost.
You know why that is? Because he's not a superstar yet. Remember, they always saying he's trying to find his way, seat at the table.
Right.
This series, if he wins a championship, he can finally get a seat.
Kevin Durant's supposed to be a superstar, but he still won't get the heat. He still don't get the heat.
I don't know why either.
Kevin Durant literally looked like he quit in that first round against the Celtics. Right? Gas good. He couldn't even walk up the court. Are we talking about it now? But we still, to this day, talk about the 2011 finals. When LeBron James shit the bed against the Mavericks. They still talk about that.
It's LeBron James.
We're talking about 11 years ago.
It's LeBron James.
Right. He's a superstar, right? But Kevin Durant's supposed to be a superstar, but he still won't get the same flack.
Listen, man. KD one of the greatest scorers. You know how I feel about KD. I hate his guts. But
You're a Knicks fan. You miserable.
He's one of the greatest scorers.
Oh, come on. Don't do that, man.
He's one of the greatest scorers I've ever seen. But at the same time, I think when he did that move to the Golden State, I think he damaged his image within the public.
Right.
So they're not gonna like really judge him like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's already tarnished.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
He's damaged goods.
He's damaged goods.
Okay.
One of the greatest scorers. They said the same thing about my boy Melo, man.
Listen, Melo's a sad case. I feel he may come back to the Knicks though. Did you hear that?
Hey, I'll take him, man.
I know you would.
I love Melo.
You take anybody.
I love Melo, man.
You take Latrell Sprewell right now.
Listen, if he can play, I'll take him. I'll take him. I don't care.
Moving on. Kenny Atkinson got hired. Another Golden State assistant got hired. The other one got hired at NBA Siberia. I don't have to talk about him. He went to Sacramento. My condolences.
Yeah, that's it.
My condolences to Mike Brown. But Kenny Atkinson gets hired with the Charlotte Hornets, and I personally believe that that's probably one of the ideal fits when you talk about roster construction, young players, and then you have a head coach who is a development guru.
Yeah.
You saw what he did in Brooklyn with those kids over there. You see that, Brooklyn was able to then trade those young players to go get their superstar players, right? But I think Kenny Atkinson is going to take Melo to another level. I think he's going to take Mikal Bridges to another level. Miles Bridges to another level. Like, there's so much potential for those guys to grow.
Yeah.
And I think finally we're going to start seeing the Charlotte Hornets they possibly may be the Memphis Grizzlies of the East.
I could agree with that.
They can have that ability. You know what I'm saying? So, what are your thoughts on Kenny Atkinson getting the job? Kenny Atkinson always reminded me of, like, the guidance counselor that smoked too many cigarettes.
Right.
That's the way he looks to me. Like, he gives you advice, and it's like, why are you giving me advice when you look like you're going through it? But he's a great coach. He's a great coach.
He's a great coach, man. You saw what he did with D'Angelo, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, no fandom. Obviously, I was just basketball talk. I love this move for the Hornets, man.
Yeah.
He's gonna bring out even more out of LaMelo, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I agree.
And he gonna have him playing defense. You know how you do with that.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I love the move, man. Jordan, people say what they want. That was a small move. That was a smart
He
move.
doesn't make a lot of them.
He don't make a lot of them, but this one I like.
Especially in regards to his attire. You ever seen how Jordan dressed?
Listen, man, baggy suits, man.
I've never seen baggy cut jeans.
Listen,
I've never seen that.
Jordan.
I've never seen that.
Jordan's
the only dude I know that wears baggy cut jeans.
Listen, man.
With shoes.
We'll laugh at Jordan. We'll laugh at Jordan for that, but it's Jordan, man. Let him slide.
And listen, for years too, he's always had trash attire. But nobody says nothing about Jordan because it's Jordan.
Because it's Jordan.
I understand that. But why they trash other people then?
Because they're not Jordans. How you gonna trash somebody and they got Jordans on their feet? You can't trash Jordan for that, man.
No, you can be objective.
Nah.
You don't have to be biased.
Even Republicans buy shoes, man. Right? Jordan.
He did say that, didn't he?
Jordan.
Look, man. Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. Robbie Anderson, wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers, hints at retirement. And when I heard the news, I'm scrolling through the feeds and I'm like, okay, Robbie Anderson is hinting at retirement. So in my mind, because I'm a logical person, right? How my brain works is like when I see information, it kind of goes into this processing center and then it comes out, right? And I'm just like, who gives a fuck about Robbie Anderson hinting at retirement, right? Because he's never been a guy that has been a featured wide receiver, right? When he was playing with the Jets, he had a chance to be that guy. And he showed flashes. That's why, when he ended up with that contract dispute with the Jets, he ended up signing with the Carolina Panthers. But he never materialized into being a true number one wide receiver, right? So it's like when news breaks like this, it's kind of like when the tight end on my Dallas Cowboys, Dalton Schultz, who was the dummy of the week last week on the show, said that he's going to hold out of minicamp. And I'm like, again,
why?
It's going into the processing center. Who cares about Dalton Schultz talking about he's holding out? You can find a Dalton Schultz anywhere. Yeah. You could probably go to Home Depot right now for a guy that knows how to catch a ball, and he can possibly be better than Dalton Schultz. So my thing is Robbie Anderson. Okay, if you want to retire, just go. I'm sure that if he does retire, people won't even realize that he retired, right? They'd be like, is Robbie Anderson hurt? Did he get cut? No, he retired. I didn't hear that news. It was out there. But you just don't care because why? It's Robbie Anderson.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't even know who the fuck Robbie Anderson is. You said the Jets. I'm like, oh, okay. How many years has he been playing? How many years has he been playing?
Robbie Anderson
to be talking like this.
What we talking about, Bad? 6 years? About 6? Yeah, something like that. He's been in the league about 6 years or so.
Yo, running backs last longer than that.
Yeah.
Before they start talking about retirement.
I mean, yeah.
What's going on with this guy?
He's just, I don't know. It's where we at in media, right? Everything's a story. Everything's a story. Like I said on the podcast on Tuesday that they made LeBron James on his own show, The Shop, a story, right?
Right.
He said that they asked him a question, out of the 2 teams that are left, who would you play for? And he said he'd play for Golden State.
I saw that.
He likes Steph Curry. They got some dogs over there. It's a very well-run organization. But here's the headline, right? LeBron James hints at signing with the Golden State Warriors. It was a question. He didn't say that he wanted to go there. They were asking the question, out of the 2 teams that are left, who would you want to play for? But media, because they like clickbait,
they're going to spin it.
And then people could be like, yo, Bron's going to Golden State. Yep.
People took it that far?
Yeah, bro. This guy, and I'm going to name him, I'm going to put him on blast again. Sam Quinn from CBS Sports. He goes ahead and writes this article saying, man, there's some rumors here. There ain't no rumors, dummy.
Wow.
He's not going anywhere.
Wow.
Yo, listen, if I ever say that I'm working for CBS Sports, just kind of put me into a room and say, you got to think about this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I seen that article. I'm just like, swipe right. I'm not even going to read it no more.
That desperate to write stories,
Garbage.
bro? They that desperate to write stories?
Garbage. But I got some other stuff we're going to talk about
Let's do it, man.
after the break.
Yo, it's your man DJ G Money from that Flip the Script podcast. You see it? We in the studio right now. Flip, shut up. Yeah. Oh, listen. Shout out to the All Even podcast. My man Barry Grant Jr. What's up, man? What happened? What you want to say to the people?
Shout out somebody else's podcast?
Yeah, my nigga the joint. What's up?
All Even?
All Even podcast.
Yo, it ain't even up here, boy. We put this, yo, what's up, man? All Even. Yo, you, oh my God. What's up with you, man? Now, that's a shout out. You keeping this?
Yeah, keep all that. You want to jump
All
in the
Even
camera?
podcast, right?
Yeah, All
Shout out
Even.
to All Even podcast, right? All Even? That's your man?
My man.
All right, shout out to All Even podcast.
100%. He cool. Is he cool? Let me see. Is he cool?
G. What is it, G? Oh. I said about G.
He cool, man.
Welcome back, y'all. So, there's a few guys that have hit the Billionaires Boy Club, right? Billionaire Boy Club. And it's been Jordan, who we talked about with the terrible clothes. We talked about the great LeBron James, who I believe is the best player that ever played.
Jordan.
No. It's Braun.
Jordan.
It's Braun.
All right, continue.
It's my show, so it's Braun, right? All right, cool. Respect. But the latest dude to join the club, Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods, yo.
Has joined the Billionaire Boys Club in regards to sports. And listen, when you talk about the three pillars in our generation of guys who have been influential, of changing the dynamic of how we look at things, right? Jordan was the first.
Right.
That he was the first guard to have that type of impact in the NBA, right?
Agreed.
Normally it was a big man's league. You know, if you didn't have a center, you had nothing. Jordan came and changed all that, right?
Agreed.
LeBron James came as a 16-year-old getting on the scene, being on Slam magazine, you know, being dubbed the chosen one and lived up to the hype.
Lived up.
There has never been another player to do that, right? Tiger Woods changed the game for golf forever. Like when you think about when we were growing up thinking about golf, it was always guys who were fat and out of shape. You know, they rode in their golf carts and spoke very slowly and boring. Nobody cared about golf. But here comes this young kid, this young black kid, you know, mixed race, biracial, and just takes the world by storm. And people started to really go into being fans of golf. You know what I mean? Like the waves of advertisers and fans and sponsorships, it just came with it.
Right.
And all of these years later, he's still on the tour. He's very old. He's had a lot of injuries. He came back from that, you know, life-threatening car accident that he had, which is nuts. The fact that he just, you know, he had some injuries and he had to come, you know, overcome those things, but he's back on the tour. So, but for him to be in this club, it makes sense. Because when you think about those three, they're just impactful. Like, what are your thoughts on Tiger Woods joining that club? And how do you feel about Tiger Woods, like, personally? Because, you know, for our culture, Tiger Woods took a hit because he never truly embraced being like the leader of a movement in regards to like the African American movement.
Right.
So like, what are your thoughts on him joining the club first, and also your feelings about Tiger Woods?
I just think like that's a matter of time kind of thing. Like he's so revolutionary. It's only right that money follows him. You know what I'm saying? Like in regards to endorsements and, you know, the actual game, the money he was making from that. I'm not surprised that he got here, honestly. How I feel about him personally, man, he's amazing, bro. Like, it's for him to come back from that car accident, bro.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, that alone is inspiring alone. Right. Never mind all the groundbreaking stuff he done had to do. And him not identifying, that never bothered me. Like,
it bothered you?
It never bothered me like that. You are what you are, and you made me look at golf. You know what I'm saying? Like I never looked at golf like that. Remember, we bought the game.
Bro, we was on that.
Yo, that game was.
Listen, That game was hard.
Yo,
that game was fire.
That game was nuts. Like,
fire.
Yo, it made me want to take an interest in golf. Like, even now, I want to go play some golf. You know what I mean?
We getting older now, so we gonna have to start hitting
for sure
the courses. You know what I mean? I can't hoop no more.
And like you said, like, we never paid attention to golf like that. Yeah, you had your Arnold Palmers and you know, the few other cats, the Jack Nicholson, Nicholas and shit. But like, we never paid attention really.
Nah,
it was basketball, you know, all other sports.
There was no reason to care. You know what I mean? It was one of those sports where, you know, you see them on the course and they're looking at their putt, and it's like, this short putt should break a little to the left. Here's the shot. Oh, wonderful. Like, that's how it was.
It feels so boring on TV, man. I used to hate watching the
Woods came on and they were like, this short birdie putt should break a little to the left. Here's the shot. You know what I mean? Like, you saw Tiger. Like, that's what it was. Like, he brought that flair to the game. You know what I mean? Before that, it was boring. Like, nobody cared. Nobody cared.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So, the fact that he joined the club, it's much love. You know, he has a documentary on HBO right now. It's a 3-part series.
I gotta check
You gotta watch it. Everybody gotta watch it because it gives you the personal side of Tiger Woods, like what he struggled with.
Oh, what he was going through.
Like what he went through as just having that relationship with his father, because as much as he loved his father had a lot of vices. His father did a lot of foul stuff that made Tiger Woods look at his father differently.
Oh.
And it was a conflict of like, okay, this is my dad, but I don't really respect him as a father because of stuff that he did.
Wow.
Stuff that he was exposed to. There was no abuse, but it was just, you know, his father not respecting his mom's.
Oh, okay. Because I
never
never knew.
Saying? Yeah, man. Like there was a I think there was a segment on the documentary where he said that his father was, you know, giving lessons to the kids. Parents were there, you know, moms were there, and he would go off with a mother into like a Winnebago, and that would happen normally.
Wow.
That was like routine.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
for him to go home, see his mother, they have dinner as a family, and then he's going with daddy to the business, and that's happening. It's like that's a mind.
Yeah, that is a motherfucker. That is.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it made him develop into a very insecure adult. And that's why you see a lot of immaturity in regards to how he dealt with his personal life.
It makes so much sense now.
You know what I'm saying?
It makes so much sense now.
He had a lot of trauma as a kid, and what people don't realize about trauma is that when it's young, when it's early like that, if it's not checked, you take it with you.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And then it shows itself at times when you least expect it. It happened to Tiger Woods at the height and the apex of his career. And then when it happened, right, all the transgressions and the cheating and all that stuff, people just turned their back on Tiger Woods.
It was crazy.
Right? It was crazy. It went from him being the king to him being the lowest of the low. Because why? He dealt with that as a kid.
Never got it checked.
You know what I'm saying?
That all makes sense.
It never got checked. So it's like, now you can understand him.
No, I definitely understand that now.
Like,
it's crazy. You see where it comes from. Everything comes from something. So it's like,
comes from something, man.
That's it now.
Definitely.
Wow. But yo, I like what's going on right now between the PGA and this Live.
Right.
I love what's going on, man.
It's competition.
I love it.
You know what I mean? When you got that Saudi money.
Yeah.
It's different. How could you say no? Right? Dustin Johnson said, all right, I'm on a PGA, but how much you giving me?
Exactly.
I turn in my PGA card right now. And I'm sure they mad, right? But at the end of the day, if you're not giving that type of money, then if somebody else is getting it, all right, cool.
Yo, I love that Phil Mickelson with.
Phil Mickelson there too?
Yeah, what you mean? Inaugural game or the inaugural joint?
So why Tiger can't get there? Tiger ain't there yet?
I'm surprised Tiger ain't go. Honestly.
Tiger's like the Undertaker. He not leaving. He not leaving WWE.
Yo,
he gonna stay loyal.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. This Live PGA thing, I was looking forward to one of the analogies right now, son. Because it reminds me of like, you got a chick, you know what I'm saying? Like one of those analogies.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a chick not doing what she do. And then this next joint.
Right, now listen, it's basically like, you know, you're in a relationship for 15 years and things are starting to get a little stale, and then all of a sudden you're on your phone and some IG model hits your DMs and it's just like, hey, you know, and you get caught up in
Live.
Right. Live is the IG
The
model.
IG model, yeah.
Yes, that's pretty much what it is. Huh? Yeah, but listen, it's competition is fine. There's nothing wrong with competition because when you're the only game in town, your product gets stale.
Which it did.
You know what I mean? Like, you need other things to be able to say, okay, what are we not doing right so we can fix it? But if you're the only game in town, it doesn't matter what you do. People have to come to you for a product. It's like Madden, right?
Right.
Madden's the only football game out there. No matter how trash it is every year, right? And the game's trash every year because it's the same game. They're the only game in town. So if you need a football game, you have to buy that.
We copping.
Right? Baseball.
Oh, the baseball, right.
The baseball game is the best game. But what they've done is that they used to be exclusive, right, on the PlayStation. Now they've branched off. They're the best game out there right now. They don't really need competition right now, but at some point, they should be open to it.
Right.
Because it's going to make your game better. People don't think like that. People like to hoard the money. Oh, no, I can't have somebody else in here getting the money. The market's too big for that.
That's what it feels like. I just don't like how they crying about it. Oh, we're going to take away your membership and...
Then here, take it.
I don't like that. That's what I feel like they do.
If I'm getting $7 million from Live, right? And you only paying me 1.5. Here's the card.
Take that.
Because I'm getting another, $6 million extra? Mm-hmm. What do I care?
And then golfers, like, to me, like, I feel like they're independent contractors, yes?
I mean...
To a degree?
Not really.
They under contract?
Yeah, I think they are under contract in regards to the PG. I don't know how it works. I think it is. Because like I said, they were the only game in town. So you can't be an independent contractor when there's no other place to go.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like, it's like wrestling, right? They say that you're an independent contractor, but if you work for WWE, you only work for WWE. So the only reason why they're called independent contractors is so Vince doesn't have to give you healthcare.
Smart man. That's why Vince is where he at.
Right? So he's like, listen, I'm going to put you in the taxes as an independent contractor, but you can't go anywhere. So, that's what PGA is. Like, but listen, okay, but why would you go there? Because they're giving me more money, dummy. Simple. If you ain't got the bread, I'ma go. I'ma bounce.
I support that.
Listen,
I support that.
That's like with us in regular life, right? If you got a job and that job is paying you $45,000 a year, and you hate that job, right? But you only stay there because you're getting this money, you got a family, and then this other job comes out of nowhere and they say, listen, we're gonna give you $85,000 because we think that you're a great worker. We've seen you, we've watched you for a while. You have the ability to go ahead and change careers or change jobs. You will do it. But why is it different for athletes, right? Why do people have such a ownership for athletes? Whereas, like, if he's on a team and he goes somewhere else for more money, why are you going there? Mm-hmm. Why? Because he's getting more money. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you ridicule or criticize somebody for something that you do on the reg? Mm-hmm. Oh, I need another job, so I need more money. But the athlete can't do it. Why? Because he's getting paid more?
Because he's getting paid more.
It's a job. Job's a job. I get paid for a service. So if I can get more money for doing the same service, I'm going to do it. Period. So that's what the live thing is with the PGA. If they don't, PGA got all this bread, right? They don't want to pony up the money, then that's it.
That's basically it.
Facts.
I love it, man. Competition
is great. So, Last segment of the day. And you always know what the last segment of the day is.
My favorite.
The last segment of the day is Dummy of the Week.
Dummy. Yeah.
Dummy, yeah. So, I don't know if you heard, but so Jack Del Rio, the defensive coordinator for the Washington, what are they called?
Oh, the Commanders or
Commandos? They should have stuck with Washington football team.
That was better. I actually like that.
It doesn't matter what they are, right? Doesn't matter what name they choose. It's the same shit dumpster fire.
Fact.
It's the same dumpster fire. But Jack Del Rio goes ahead and says that the January 11th, what was January 11th?
It was January
What
6th.
was it
January
about?
6th. January 6th.
January 6th, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a dust. It was nothing crazy.
Dust up.
Dust up. He said, "Oh, nobody died. There was no buildings that set." He said this at a press conference for football in Washington.
In Washington. That's the thing that gets
So
me.
we're not talking about he was in Jamaica or he was in some. He's in Washington, right? And he says this. And Dan Snyder, as much of a piece of garbage he is, right? Dan Snyder's like, all right, that's enough. All the scandals that's going on in my organization, you know, the women talking about there's some indecent stuff going on in here. There's some other stuff, you know, for years they've been telling me to change the Redskins name and I didn't do it. And the only reason why I changed is because Nike took their contract off the table. He said, but all of those things are fine. I could deal with that. But this, no.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I draw the line. This is where I draw the line. Man said, dust up. Sometimes people come along and you wonder how they get the position that they actually get. Like, you can have a skill, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can be the best carpenter in the world. And if I interview you, right, and you sound like an idiot, I can't even have a conversation with you because you're just all over the place. No matter how good you are as a carpenter, I can't hire you.
I respect that.
Because you're an idiot.
Right.
And I can't have people like that working for my organization. It makes me look bad because if I send you out somewhere to do a job and you have a conversation with a customer, that customer's going to call me and say, yo, why you bring this dude to my house? You over here talking some wild nonsense? He's an idiot. Jack Del Rio is an idiot. Straight up.
Dust up.
He's an idiot.
What was he thinking?
He wasn't thinking.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's the problem. He wasn't thinking. He's one of those kids that grew up and he licked the the metal pole when it's icy and said, let me try and see what happens here.
My man Ralph.
Right. You know what I mean? Stupid. But here's the biggest issue that I have with the whole situation. Although he went out and said that nonsense, he gets fined $150,000.
Yeah.
Jack Del Rio makes like $3-4 million a year.
Exactly. I thought the same thing.
So you can say whatever you want. They
100,000.
just gonna give you a $150,000 fine.
That's it.
So maybe I can start doing that then. Maybe I can just start saying some off the wall stuff.
You already started?
I haven't said anything yet.
That's facts.
I have a lot to say, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until something comes up, like Johnny Depp winning his case.
Hey,
I respect that.
I was happy about
You
that.
know, I love that. Love that. You know, because it's one of those things where it's like we never really see this side of it. You know, we hear a lady say, and listen, I want to put this out there. There's a lot of women out there that get abused and there's bad things. I'm not talking about those.
Right.
I'm talking about the women that use those women's stories and take advantage of it.
Right.
And put guys in situations where it's like, you know, they're not going to believe you over me. So
There's a lot of that.
We got to celebrate this. It's just like when OJ got off, right? We didn't care about OJ. We cared about the fact that a black man
got
off
Right.
in a situation like this. That's what we cheered, right? We're cheering Johnny Depp. We love Johnny Depp. But we're also cheering the fact that he got off in a situation like this. You know what I'm saying? But back to Jack Del Rio. There's certain people that you shouldn't hire. There's certain people that you shouldn't even come close to. I'm sure his family members look at him as the black sheep. He's probably always been the black sheep. He's probably been one of those people that get picked last at school. He's like, all right, I'll pick you. We'll take Toby. We'll take Matt. And we gotta take Jack.
You gotta take him.
Take Jack. I mean, we understand he's an idiot, but we gotta take Jack.
Hey, he picking his nose or
Right,
something.
picking his nose, licking the metal pole. You guys ready? He's an idiot. So, Jack Del Rio, you might be employed with the Washington football team. I'm calling them the football team. They're not the Commanders.
I like that name better.
The Washington Commanders, and you might be a loser right now, but you're a winner for Dummy of the Week. That's all for the show. That's all for this week. I'll see y'all next week. Tune in for the All Even Podcast being video every week now.
Every week.
Casso, I appreciate you for coming through, man.
Appreciate you for having me, brother.
I mean,
Champ is here, man.
you know, it's a long time coming. You know, Nicole on the ones and twos back there.
Hey.
Vasco shouts. You know, definitely want to say that I got my guardian angel looking out for me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's she's looking down right now and saying it's about damn time
Yep.
you get your face on camera. So, Ma, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you did for me. I'll take it from here. I'll see y'all next week, man. You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at All Even Podcast. Listen to the show on Podbeam, Amazon Music, Spotify, and wherever you find your podcast available. And check out my YouTube channel, All Even Podcast. And don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button.
My son is the champ, so get over it.